Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi. This is going to be my weekly update, as well as I'm going to kind of just have a little chat about picking a goal weight. I wish I could tell you that I had lost weight this past week, but I did not. And I told you guys that I was going to be honest with you and be real. So I gained last week, and I'm not really sure why. So the previous week I was at 175.7, and this last Saturday I was at 176.5. So that is a 0.8 pound gain for the week. And I'm not gonna lie, it's disappointing, particularly because I'm super close to my goal weight. So, you know, I have been really upfront from the beginning that this just happens sometimes. You know, you'll go up and down, and it's definitely not like a linear progression where you're just going down. But yeah, so for whatever reason, I was up, and I'm not 100% sure why, but in reviewing my week, I did realize that I had kind of been doing some emotional eating a lot more sugar than I really wanted to. Especially, you know, my kind of mindset is I don't restrict anything, but during the week I do try to be mindful of how much sugar I'm eating, and I do want to kind of keep that down. So last week was not good in that sense. And I have lost weight on weeks where I've eaten more sugar, so that may still not be the reason, but it did help me to kind of reevaluate, like, okay, I need to be more mindful of that. And I'm actually sitting here in the car with a dozen donuts on the passenger side. I'm fasting today. I'm not going to eat any of them. They're for my kids. They earned a reward. So I went and got them donuts, and I will have none of them, but I'm sure they will be delicious. And you know what? I can have donuts again someday. So it's all good. Also, I just wanted to thank you all again for your kind and supportive comments. I always appreciate hearing from you guys, and you're always so uplifting and encouraging and kind, and I really appreciate that. But I also wanted to say that aside from the scale being up on Saturday, I had a great weekend, and I felt really good, and I was just feeling like really good in my body and about where I am and everything. And so I was grateful for that. Aside from having a little disappointing news from the scale, I just still felt really good. I did not punish myself for being up on the scale. I enjoyed my weekend, still had a lot of treats, but here we are back into the weekdays, and I'm resetting, refocusing. But yeah, it's good. And honestly, I feel like weight-wise, even right now, I am in a good place as far as my weight. I'm still going for my goal of 175. My height is 5'11". But I just feel good at this weight. I think it's a good weight for me. So that's a great thing. And I just wanted to talk about, you know, how to pick a goal weight. And I'm not going to tell you how to pick your goal weight, but I'm going to just talk about that and sort of go through maybe the process of what you would do to pick a goal weight. If you want to pick a goal weight, you don't even have to, really, because there are other ways of measuring your progress for sure. But I know for a lot of people, some people have like never been in a healthy weight in their entire lives. Maybe like as a child, they were always on the bigger side. And as an adult, they were always on the bigger side, and just have never even been down to what you would consider a healthy weight. So yeah, for those people, it might be kind of confusing to even know what to do, and you may not need to pick a goal weight, but if you want to, we'll just kind of go through some thoughts. So kind of where people start, I think, is with the BMI scale. We've all heard of the BMI scale. The problem with the BMI scale is that it and that's body mass index, is that it only looks at your height and your weight. And those are the only two factors that it uses. Okay, so it doesn't take into account your age, your gender, or your body type. I mean, you look around and you see all these different people that are shaped differently. And it's not even about whether they have extra layers of fat on them. It's just that everybody has a different body type, right? Some people carry more weight up top. Some carry more weight in their hips or their rear, you know? I mean, and it's actually just really interesting and cool to see how different everyone is. And so because of that, you know, a healthy weight for one person at the same height is going to be different than someone with a different body type at the same height. So it can be kind of complicated. And I know for me, like when I got married, I was about 155 pounds. And you know, my goal weight right now is 175. So I have adjusted my expectations just based on, you know, how I have aged and what I know for now at this, how my body has changed from having 4 kids. I kind of know that 175 is just a good weight for me. And now that I'm really close to that, I can see that that's true. You know, like this is a good place for me. And does that mean that if I go lower than 175, I'm going to be like, oh, I need to gain weight? No, like I might settle lower and we'll just have to see how that goes as time progresses. But, you know, so I know that based on my experience. But, yeah, so going back to the BMI scale, right now at what I'm at about 176, I'm at 24.5 on the BMI scale. Okay, so anywhere between 18.5 and 25 or like 24.9 is considered a healthy, normal weight range. So I am in the normal weight range for that. Between 25 and 29.9 is considered overweight. So when I was at 209, which was my highest weight, I was 29.1 on the BMI scale. So if you get to 30, you're considered obese. So I was really close to being considered obese. Now, in my opinion, you can totally be healthy in the overweight category. And I think that you can even be healthy in the obese category, just depending again on your body type and the other health factors, right? So I'm going to link below. There is another scale called the Smart BMI, and this takes into account a bunch of different factors, and they've done a lot of studies and compiled results from people. And this is like, you know, taking people's weight, height, age, and gender into account. Okay, so when I did that, I kind of plugged in a bunch of different numbers. And for me, it said that anywhere up to about 189 would actually be considered for my height, age, and gender to be probably a healthy weight for those factors. Now, if you look at the BMI scale at 179, I am considered overweight. And according to them, that would be unhealthy, right? So that's like a 10-pound difference, which actually makes it's a really big deal when you're trying to lose weight. And sometimes, you know, 10 pounds can be actually really difficult to lose when you're getting close down to that healthy range. So that's another thing to look at, and I'm definitely going to link that below so you can kind of play with the numbers and see what maybe like a healthy range for your age, height, weight, and gender, how that factors into it. But those are just guidelines, honestly, and you just have to like, so once you're getting down into that range, if you're having a really hard time losing and you feel like maybe my body doesn't want to lose any more weight, or I'd have to do something more extreme and maybe unsustainable to lose more weight, then that's where you want to look at, you know, like, one, is there a reason why your body doesn't want to release the weight? Like, are there extenuating factors or underlying health conditions? But also just ask yourself, like, do I feel good right now in my body? Like, do I have energy? Am I sleeping well? And, you know, if you want to go and take some tests like, you know, hormones and thyroid, cholesterol, your A1C for diabetes, and just basically like assess whether you are healthy. The other thing to look at aside from weight is they've said that the waist to height ratio is really important. So when I started doing alternate day fasting, my waist was about 37 inches and my height is 71 inches. So if you divide your waist by your height in inches, you get that ratio. So when I started, I was at 0.52. Now they say you want to be under 0.5 for health, and that's just kind of like for cardiovascular health and other things. They say that that's a good ratio to be at. Okay, so right now I'm at, my waist is 33 inches and my height is still 71. I have not shrunk or anything. So my waist to height ratio is 0.46. So I am now in that healthy range, which is awesome. And again, I'm not like trying to get it as low as possibly humanly imaginable. Like, this is just trying to improve those markers, right? And so I think, like, I feel really good about that. And that's another thing to consider. Like, if you're not wanting to weigh yourself and you want to like focus on other factors for whether or not you're improving your health, definitely measure your waist measurement and see if that is going down. So, and I would say this, like, if you have a lot of weight to lose, like more than 50 pounds, more than 100 pounds, break that goal down into smaller increments. Like, maybe if you have 100 pounds, do you think you need to lose 50 and then reevaluate from there. You know, choose a new goal weight based on how quickly you're losing, how you're feeling, what your health is doing, and all those things. So like when I started out alternate day fasting, I did the diet bet, which was a 6-month program. So it kind of broke it down into goals for me because every month I had to lose a certain amount, right? So so it kind of broke down those goals for me automatically doing that. And you may want to consider participating in something like that just to like break down your goals and also give you some incentive. But for some people that doesn't work, and you just want to, I can't stress this enough, to just give yourself time. Give yourself as much time as it takes. So I really don't like saying, I want to lose this amount of pounds by this date, because what that happens is your body may not want to release those pounds in that amount of time. And you're kind of setting yourself up for maybe some disappointment. And you may totally crush it and reach those goals, but just know that your body is going to work itself out the way that it wants to. And a lot of people actually don't lose a ton of weight, but that doesn't mean that their body isn't changing. And I have been a part of this group on Facebook for the Delay Don't Deny book. It's a support group for that that's connected to Jen Stevens' book that I reviewed in a couple of videos ago. And it is amazing to me when I see the people who say they've only lost like 5-10 pounds and they look completely different, like transformed. It's amazing. So I really encourage you to go and look at, you know, people's stories and see how your body can change without losing a ton of weight. And so, you know, I am focused on weight loss as a part of my journey, but it's not the only factor. And we have to look at the other factors if we're going to be successful and balanced and look at things in just a healthy way. And so I hope that helps you. I know this is kind of all over the place, but I'm going to link that Smart BMI scale down there and really just encourage you to focus on what you really want to get out of this as a holistic approach, and take it from there. So I hope that you're doing well and that helps you in some way. And I will see you next week. All right, bye.